Welcome to National Herald. I'm Rukmini Sen. Today's biggest news perhaps is SC stays implementation of farm laws, forms four-member committee to hear stakeholders and submit report. The committee comprises National President of Bharatiya Kisan Union Bhupinder Singh Maan, Dr. Pramod Kumar Joshi, agricultural economist Ashok Gulati, and President of Shetkari Sangathan Anil Ghanwat. The Supreme Court on Tuesday stayed the implementation of the three controversial farm laws against which farmers, particularly from Punjab and Haryana, have been protesting at Delhi's borders since November 2020. With me today is Senior Advocate of Supreme Court, Dinesh Dwivedi. Let me invite him. Thank you, sir, for joining us on National Herald. What does this mean? What does this stay on the three acts actually mean?
Stay of implementation means that the government will not be able to proceed any further with the implementation of the three laws. That's all. Nothing. I don't see anything much in that, because as it is, government's implementation is more or less at a standstill. So there won't be much to be achieved in that. But nevertheless, it's something which is heartening for the farmers.
But the farmers are not happy with this clearly, because their response is that they don't want any committee. It's too late for something like that. I mean, going by the press release that they have released, what do you have to say to that?
Yeah, I think they are justified. Reason being, see, there have been so many rounds of discussion with the government. The stand of both the parties has already hardened, and there doesn't seem to be any middle path. One wants the repeal, the other does not want. So, what is the point in constituting a committee? I am really bewildered at that. Supreme Court is supposed to decide a dispute, legal dispute, legally and constitutionally. But here they have constituted a committee. Now, yesterday, what they said was that they want an amiable resolution of the dispute. Now, today, they are forcing the resolution of dispute by saying that whether you are bound by the committee which we are constituting, and we'll be guided by what the committee says. You put your grievances before the committee. Now, let me ask this question. Supposing tomorrow the committee, after going through everything and going through the demands of the farmers, whatever they say, comes to the conclusion, no, the demands are not fair and reasonable, and the stand of the government is just. Then what does Supreme Court do? Would it uphold the validity on that ground? Or let's take the reverse case. What if the committee says, no, the laws are unjust and unfair, and farmers' demands have not been met, their concerns have not been seen? Then what does Supreme Court do? Strike down the law? Is Supreme Court going to act as an administrator or as a judicial institution? So if it has to act as a judicial institution, which it must, then the only two ways in which it can decide, it is by going through the hearing of the matter and then finding out whether the act, the three bills, the three acts are kind of within the competence of the legislature, parliament, or not. And secondly, whether the state's jurisdiction has been usurped or it is in breach of fundamental rights. See, the validity of the law involves only two questions. One is the competence and the other is the infringement of fundamental rights or any other provisions of the Constitution. What is this manner? I really am bewildered at this. What is Supreme Court trying to do? And then look at the committee. Committee, I don't know about the other three, but I know about Mr. Ashok Gulati. Mr. Ashok Gulati recently gave a statement in favor of the Farm Bill. He has rejected all the demands of the farmers. If you see the Karan Thapar statement, on Wire, his website, that will disclose the stand of Ashok Gulati. His stand is already well known. So the man has already decided. We judged the issue, and he's there as member of the committee. This is, to me, it appears to be forcing the farmers to give up their demand of repeal. And let's take the worst case scene. What if the Supreme Court finds the law to be valid? Is that a ground on which farmers' agitation can be said to be bad in law? I mean, farmers' agitation is based on the impact of the law on their daily lives, on their earnings, on their living standards. It is not based on the legalities or illegalities of it. Farmers feel that this is something which has really hurt their interest. How is Supreme Court going to decide this? So all these issues are perhaps beyond Supreme Court. We can't.
So if I may ask, what do you think is the best way ahead?
The best way ahead is for the Supreme Court. If you're asking me about the Supreme Court, then Supreme Court should proceed with the hearing of the matter and decide whatever it wants to decide. But it can't decide on the issue of the legality of the law on the basis of experts' opinion only, or on the basis of whether the demands of farmers are justified or not. Farmers' demands are justified because the impact it has on their livelihood. That is not an issue which, on the basis of which you can assess the validity of the law. So therefore, why unnecessarily go into all this rigmarole? You're just wasting time.
So the other question I wanted to ask you was that the bench comprising of CJI S.A. Bobde and Justice A.S. Bopanna and B. Ramasubramanian said that it will not hear an argument that farmers are unwilling to go to the committee, which you also mentioned briefly right now. How do you see this, that they are unwilling?
The funny aspect of it is yesterday they said they would like to resolve the dispute amicably. Now, is this resolution of dispute amicably? I don't think so. Now you're trying to compel them to go. And what if they don't go? What will you do? You'll haul them up for contempt, all the farmers. I mean, what is this? Why should Supreme Court do all this? This is no part of Supreme Court's jurisdiction. I think they are acting more like administrators than as judicial institutions.
Has there been any precedence in judiciary, in terms of a case like this, which came to them and then?
No, there's absolutely no precedence in a case like this. See, the important part is like this. Look at the magnitude of the case. Look at the number of people being affected and the impact it has on the economy and otherwise. So I have yet to come across any case where Supreme Court intervened in this manner to resolve the dispute. This is absolutely unique.
So, sir, if I have to ask you for your last words on this, on your advice to the farmers, because
my advice to the farmers is that if they feel that their claims are justified, if their interests are being adversely affected, then they should carry on. Why not? There is a right to protest guaranteed to everyone under our constitution. I mean, they are, and frankly speaking, whatever I've seen, whatever I've read about this agitation, they've been absolutely peaceful. They have tried to avoid all kinds of agitations, all kinds of violence, barring few exceptional situations where something may have happened. I don't know. But then by and large, it has been absolutely peaceful. Look at the about nearly 500,000 or 1 million people outside Delhi. They are braving the cold, braving all kinds of difficulties and facing the heat of the situation. I mean, it's commendable. I've never seen any kind of agitation like this, at least in my 40 years of law practice.
And what do you think about these laws per se, sir? Because you must have gone through the laws.
Yeah, certainly. According to me, these laws are absolutely illegal because they trench upon states' jurisdiction. I'm not going into the issue of the fact that whether they were pushed through during COVID era or that proper consultation was not being done. Now, all that is an old story. Once the law bill has been enacted into an act, then all that loses significance. Now the question is only of validity. And there is a strong case, I feel, where this can be successfully argued. The law is absolutely illegal in the sense Parliament has taken over the jurisdiction of state legislature. And in fact, this is something rare. I have not seen any parliamentary law which says that the act of state which is within its jurisdiction is overridden. Section 7 of the Farm Act says that. So how can you do that? But anyway, that's a question to be resolved by Supreme Court, and Supreme Court, I would advise, at least it would be well advised to proceed in that direction rather than going into all these.
So that's Senior Advocate Dinesh Dwivedi with us. He thinks that the laws in themselves are illegal, and that now is the time, if anything, in the courts. This is the time for hearing and not making committees. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining us.